From gift card scams.
You're trusting, this place that you're putting money towards, and now it's lost.
To getting out of debt and changing spending habits.
I'm just now getting on my feet a little bit.
On the weekend, maybe we'll eat out once. We won't have breakfast and dinner.
To navigating artificial intelligence.
AI is pervasive. It's interacting with every aspect of our life, and it really is out there in full force when it comes to scams and fraud and identity crimes.
ABC 10 News is here to help you safeguard your hard-earned money and cut down on costs.
Now, ABC 10 News presents Your Money, Your Way.
And thank you so much for joining me on this ABC 10 News special. I'm ABC 10 News anchor Melissa Messiha. For the next half hour, we're going to talk about wiser spending, best ways to save cash, avoiding scams, and where to turn to if you need help. Now, this time of year, we're all spending a little more than usual and maybe getting into some debt. Credit card debt in the U.S. is already at an all-time high. It's at more than $1.2 trillion, according to data from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Now, if you're one of those people who owes a lot, I spoke to one nonprofit on how you can help bring that number down and start the new year on stronger financial footing. Money Management International helps people with debt management and repayment plans for low or no cost. The program has seen a couple disturbing trends lately.
One is the increase in the number of people seeking debt relief help from us. The second is the average level of debt that they're carrying at the time that they contact us, which has increased from about $20,000 a couple of years ago to almost $30,000 now.
Now, he said if you're trying to pay down those cards, first things first, realize that there is an issue that you maybe cannot handle alone. Create a budget, figure out your short and long-term goals, and try to reduce your total debt by paying whatever amount you can over that minimum. Every little bit helps. And if you're one of those people in debt, you may be getting those persistent debt collection calls. A report looked at FTC data. It showed a 150% spike in debt collection calls across the country this year compared to 2024. I spoke to Corey Ehrlicher. He was one of those people receiving calls from debt collectors every day. Corey racked up more than $16,000 in debt while dealing with a medical condition.
The credit card companies themselves definitely harassed me a decent amount, but I owe them money, so I was kind of like, yeah, I get it. Can you stop though?
Now, he turned to MMI to manage his debt, which he said is a lot lower now.
I'm just trying to improve my credit score right now because it's really low from all this. I'm just now getting on my feet a little bit.
MMI reminds people that you have the right to ask debt collectors to stop calling you at work or during a place or time inconvenient to you. Collectors are also not allowed to engage in a way that makes you feel harassed or abused. And if they do, you can report it to the State Attorney General or the FTC. Also reminds people, before you pay anything, verify that debt and get information like name, company, address, and contact info.
Very creative tactics. It really blew me away because I didn't think this was possible.
If you are buying or using any gift cards this holiday season, a warning from that Oceanside mom. Her 11-year-old son opened up his birthday gift and discovered a tampered gift card. As ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chen tells us, the discovery came as there was a federal crackdown on a gift card scam tied to crime rings.
Everything was sealed.
This is a $100 gift card Jessica Sandoval's son Adrian opened up in April for his 11th birthday. A gift from his grandma.
Yelled out, a little shocked. Mom, look at this gift card. It looks weird.
So you take a look,
yeah,
and your heart sinks.
Yes.
So this is the packaging with the gift card. When you take the gift card out, you can see that the barcode is on a sticker that was likely placed there by the scammer.
Well, there's a sticker on the back of the gift card. On the front,
numbers right here.
The last 4 digits were scratched off. The $100 used to buy and activate the card at the register, gone.
It's linked to possibly their account, and they pretty much swipe it out quickly.
Adrian's grandma bought the card at a major department store in the North County. Since she tossed the receipt and we couldn't confirm the purchase, we aren't identifying the store. Adrian's discovery comes a year after Homeland Security investigations announced Project Red Hook, aimed at a rise in gift card fraud tied to Chinese crime syndicates. Dozens have been arrested across the country, tens of thousands of gift cards confiscated. While the Oceanside homicide case hasn't been linked to the operation, the tactics are similar. Scammers accessing the card information, putting it back on the shelf, then draining the funds when the card is activated.
You're trusting, this place that you're putting money towards, and now it's lost.
Because the receipt was thrown away, Sandoval wasn't able to file a claim with the store. She hopes by sharing her family's story,
when you place it inside, you can even see the print is off.
she can help prevent others from falling victim.
Slowing down, looking at the card and just, ask the questions before you make that purchase and save your receipt.
Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
Sandoval reported the fraud to Homeland Security investigations. HSI officials say when you buy those gift cards, be on the lookout for visible tears or cuts in the packaging. Look really closely and also look for discrepancies in brand logos or packaging design. Now, a lot of people are traveling, packing airports this time of year. If your next trip is an international one, of course, you're going to need a passport. One woman I spoke to says she turned to the company RushMyPassport.com to get passports for her family earlier this year. It promises to make the process easier. April Long thought the company would expedite the delivery, but here's what happened instead.
Started filling out the application, so putting in my daughter's info. And then when I got close to being done with that, it prompted me to a screen that said, find a place to take your paperwork in, which I thought they were going to do that part for us. Or I thought they would have like appointments kind of set aside, and they didn't.
And how much did you pay?
It was $172.
So then what happened after that? You paid, and then what?
And then, so after filling out the application, at the bottom of the screen, it said, if you continue from here, you won't be able to request a refund. So at that point, I kind of talked to my husband, and I was like, we can fill out the application on our own. We've done this multiple times. It doesn't look like it's going to do what I thought it was going to do. They're not going to help us. So I submitted for a refund.
So you ended up paying the $172?
Yes, I had already paid. You have to pay first, and then you start the process.
Her refund was denied. I reached out to Rush My Passport, who told me, quote, we guide and support our customers through the application process. The company said it has helped millions of people get their passports. After I started looking into the issue, we did get some results. April did receive her full refund. The State Department's website has a page dedicated to courier and expediter companies. It emphasized that these are private companies that don't operate as part of the Department of State. It said that if you use a courier company, you will not receive your passport faster than applying at one of our passport agencies. One other note here, the Department of State does not charge extra fees. Well, before you book your next flight or pay for that cruise, experts recommend looking into travel insurance. When it comes to cost, Experian.com says the average cost of travel insurance ranges from 4 to 8% of the trip's cost. AAA says most travel insurance covers the basics.
Trip cancellations for certain reasons, not for every reason, but for specific reasons. It also, can cover you if your trip has to be cut short. It can cover lost luggage or delayed luggage. It can also cover unforeseen medical expenses while you're traveling, as well as travel delays for, again, specific reasons. It can also cover emergency transportation to a medical facility while you're away.
But here's the thing, it doesn't cover everything, such as medical bills connected to a person's pre-existing condition, weather-related cancellations, or damages or injuries from high-risk excursions. That's why it's so important to read that fine print. You can buy travel insurance directly from an insurance company. You can go through a travel agent, or you can check with your credit card company.
This was our dream.
It was supposed to be their perfect retirement home, but a San Diego couple said they paid tens of thousands of dollars to a contractor only for him to take off and not finish the job. They decided to share their story to warn others before they do work on their own homes.
We paid for the cabinets to be completed, and he never showed up with the cabinets.
That's only one of the broken promises from Dominic Lopez's contractor. Dominic's house now in disarray. What goes on through your mind?
I'm sorry. We just couldn't live like this because we were living in a plastic bubble.
Take your time. This is what their home looked like for months. They say their stuff was left abandoned, covered underneath plastic tarps.
And there's our TV. It was ready to mount on the wall.
How long has it been in the box?
2 years.
According to the contract, the Lopezes and the contractor agreed on a 575 square foot ADU extension to their home. That included demolition, framing, electrical, and plumbing improvements. That extension centered around the kitchen area.
We want this completed.
It's been a long, stressful journey for them that started in the summer of 2023. They hired a contractor who we are not naming at this time since he hasn't been charged with any crime.
Framing, all the framework is not completed.
The Lopezes said the contractor was supposed to be done with the work in less than a year. He wasn't.
Workers are not showing up, and then he's not showing up. He's giving us excuses all the time.
And then
he just disappeared. He cleaned pretty much our savings accounts. He cleared our bank account. So we relied on family members.
To date, they've spent more than $100,000.
With the funds that we have now, we're broke.
Dominic thought he did the right thing, contacted a couple other contractors to compare before signing with this one. But the Lopezes and the civil attorney they've been working with say the person they hired was using a license number of another contractor, a legitimate and registered one. That contractor told me over the phone at one point he worked with the person the Lopezes hired but never gave permission to use his license. The Lopezes had no idea.
We would very much want to see that this individual communicate with us and try to rectify the damage that he's done. I don't understand how somebody could leave somebody like this.
I reached out to the contractor who the Lopezes said left their home in shambles. He said he would do an interview with me and explain his side. On the day of our interview, he never showed up.
His voicemail is full and I can't leave a message.
A frustrating, heartbreaking situation made worse by recent news about Dominic's wife.
She was just laid off. And so now we're tied with more debts.
I spoke over the phone to the contractor whose license number was being used. He said he only learned of the situation after the Lopezes contacted him. The contractor reported what happened to the state.
Any warning that you want to give to
The
other
public.
people? Yeah.
Choose the right person. Make sure you do your homework. Follow up with the contractor. Look at the contractor's number. Make sure it's legitimate. And that's where we didn't look up. We were just too honest.
And there are steps you should take before starting any project. Ask to see the contractor's pocket license and a photo ID. Also, the contractor's state license board says pay no more than 10% down or $1,000, whichever is less. The contract should detail everything agreed upon. That includes the work, the price, and when the job will be done. You should also get contact information lists, not just for the contractor, but also subcontractors and suppliers. Artificial intelligence, it's impacting just about every aspect of our lives these days. Scammers, unfortunately, they're also using it to take people's money.
It sounds complicated, but it's really easy to do. If you didn't initiate the contact, go to the source and verify.
We speak with an expert about how to protect yourself and your loved ones from AI scams. AI scams are everywhere, and they're just getting more sophisticated. Earlier this year, we told you about a Southern California woman conned out of her life savings when a scammer posed as a soap opera star. The victim, who has bipolar disorder, thought she was in a relationship with General Hospital actor Steve Burton and received several fake videos of him talking about his love for her. According to a police report, the victim sent the scammer posing as Burton more than $81,000 in gift cards, cash, and Bitcoin after he told her he had lost property in the LA wildfires. I spoke to the Identity Theft Resource Center about trying to stop these scams before it's too late.
I think we need to normalize conversations about online scams and particularly about relationship scams. There's this feeling of both privacy and maybe even embarrassment to have those conversations, but we need to make it just part of our normal dialogue.
Unfortunately, spotting fake videos is just getting tougher. Experts say a video like this only takes about 15 minutes to make with software that costs only a few dollars. So communication is key. And the new world of AI is evolving and new uses are being found every day for it. That includes new AI shopping assistants. Almost half of Americans know about these new bots, but our ABC 10 News reporter Ryan Hill tells us few people are actually using them.
I do use ChatGPT sometimes when I have some questions about like what to do in a certain area.
AI can be used to help you in many different ways.
I definitely use ChatGPT to just kind of like help myself out, like understand some things that I'm not too familiar with.
But the tech is also being used to help you shop.
When people are talking about AI personal shopping assistants, they are primarily talking about the types of things that you do type into a chatbot.
Stephanie Tully is a professor at USC who specializes in studying consumer behavior and recently how AI is playing a role in it. Tully tells me these AI shopping assistants are a more complex chatbot you find on a website that's aim is to be personalized and have more information about you.
They can know that, well, you've bought these types of things in the past, or also incorporate things that you say during the chat. So you just say that you're specifically looking for this because you're going on a trip to this specific place in this specific month. And so they're going to incorporate that type of information.
A recent poll by YouGov, an international online research group, shows a little more than 40% of Americans know about these shopping assistants, but 14% of people are actually using them.
I'd probably use it a one-time thing just to see how it works and if it's convenient or not, but I'd probably just stay away from it, to be honest, and just probably do my own thing and just go to whatever I need to get.
That doesn't come as a surprise to Tully, considering how habitual shopping can be.
They know how they look at the star ratings. They know which kinds of reviews they like to look at, right? And it can be hard to break those habits for a number of reasons. One might just be the effort involved, right? I have to think more about how I'm going to do it, which website I'm going to go to, where I'm going to find the personal assistant.
Tully says it could be a trust factor too with the new tech, considering the information it's using to base its answers on.
The knowledge of that can make consumers really concerned that they're being manipulated or persuaded in ways that they may not realize if they're relying only on these AI personal shopping assistants.
Some feel it could take some time to warm up to things like these AI shopping assistants.
I think in the future, next 5 years, we'll be using a lot more AI than we do right now, but still like pretty unfamiliar concept, so people just aren't really using it as much.
Ryan Hill, ABC 10 News.
Well, you've likely noticed this. The cost of eating out is just getting more and more expensive.
Even just going to a regular pick-up to-go meal can add up to like 40, 50 bucks just for the three of us.
Oh yeah, it adds up quickly. How high prices are changing the way we spend our money at restaurants. Car repairs can be an unexpected expense. A lot of drivers say they can no longer afford a big one. In a recent survey by Finance Buzz, more than half of drivers say they would be unable to pay for a $1,000 repair. According to Kelley Blue Book, the average repair cost is just over $800.
Mildly bumped into the front end, you can have a $3,500 estimate on it.
Yeah, it can add up quickly. To help you save, ask your shop about coupons or discounts. Sometimes they won't tell you up front. Use an auto parts store for something like a battery replacement, and just don't skip on that regular maintenance because that can be cheaper in the long run. Diners are ordering less food when they go out to a restaurant as a way to save money. But ABC 10 News reporter Marie Coronel has details on this growing trend and how changing consumer habits are impacting businesses.
We're seeing more and more empty buildings and doors locked as many point to the business environment for all of the closures.
Vacant storefronts and closed-up restaurants are a common sight as businesses struggle to keep up with operating expenses due to financial pressures.
And they say this is to help us support the wages of our staff, but it still comes out of the pockets of consumers.
Justine Farrell, a digital marketing professor at the University of San Diego, says a big contributing factor are changes in consumer spending habits.
It's really tough because prices have just been rising and a lot of consumers don't feel as though their salaries have kept up to the same pace as that.
To save money, customers are ordering smaller, less expensive meals or choosing to order from the kids menu.
You are seeing a lot more of sharing meals, especially because a lot of meals have really large portions. You see less ordering alcoholic drinks because a lot of times those can raise the price of a meal. And so you'll see Gen Z or millennials having maybe a drink or a cocktail before they go to dinner to help cut down costs on that end as well.
Data from Ramsey Solutions shows a single-person household is spending about $222 a month on eating out, where a married couple with kids is spending about $500 a month on meals outside of their home, a cost that can add up.
Even just going to a regular pick-up to-go meal can add up for like 40, 50 bucks just for the three of us on average. So it could get pretty pricey. No, that's not including drinks. That's just, you know, a sandwich and some chips.
Justine says while people haven't stopped eating out, they are looking for ways to save some extra cash.
On the weekend, maybe we'll eat out once. We won't have like breakfast and dinner.
Yeah, we'll look for try to find happy hours. My wife is very diligent with that type of situation and trying to save money, so that's cut a few corners as well.
Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
Another growing trend here as young people try to save, how the No Spend Challenge works and what one local woman was able to do with the money she saved. Let me know what you think about this. It's called the No Spend Challenge, and more young people are jumping on this new trend. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell breaks down the financial strategy to save your hard-earned dollars.
In a time where people are always looking for ways to save money, there's a growing trend called the No Spend Challenge, which helps people figure out what they want and what they need.
I'm going to tell you everything I spent, how much I spent. It was a super high spend month for me, but I didn't violate any no-buy rules.
That's Amaya Wadsworth, who has documented her No Spend Challenge in videos she's posted on social media. She started when she was 18 while working for a company that provides sustainable spending guidance for people.
There was no way for me to adequately guide people through the process of learning how to spend less and really reflect on your spending habits unless I went all in on it myself.
The No Spend Challenge is a financial strategy where people commit to not buying anything outside of their necessities. They still pay for their utilities, monthly bills, and buy groceries. But the point is to cut down on things you don't need, such as eating out, buying an extra cup of coffee during the day, purchasing new clothes, or even spending on alcohol. Amaya says though her goal was to save more money, she also wanted to develop better spending habits.
No longer buying things that I didn't need, that cluttered up my house, that stressed me out later, etc. So I did look through a lot of my recent spending and tried to see where it was mostly from.
And a recent study by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York shows many more Americans are planning to be more cautious when it comes to spending. Data shows consumers expect their monthly spending growth to be in the 3% range for next year, which is a step back from the 3.3% expected monthly growth. Amaya says this challenge also helped her kick the habit of impulse spending, which ended up saving her thousands of dollars over the course of 8 months.
You kind of are what you buy, and that you shape your identity through the things you own didn't have to be true to me, that I could really love the beauty of those things, but I didn't have to have them.
Amaya says with the money saved, she was able to move into a new place that was once out of her budget.
If I didn't feel like I had that backup, I would have never been able to take that leap, especially just because the cost of living changes so much, and having those savings for us was really, really helpful.
Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
Every dollar counts, and we want to leave you with resources you can take with you. If you have any problems with debt collectors harassing you, you can always report them to the FTC or the State Attorney General. When it comes to AI scams, report those to the FTC or the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center. If you have any issues with a car dealership or home construction, the Bureau of Automotive Repair investigates complaints related to car repairs, and the Contractor State License Board is also a good resource to search licensed contractors and also report any problems with people who work on your home. I'm Melissa Masiha. Thank you so much for joining us for Your Money, Your Way, an ABC 10 News special.